Well, first, congratulations again to Mike and the girls on hosting this regional that's coming up. So we wish them the best of luck. We're trying to do the same thing, but we still got some body of work to take care of. Had a good weekend this weekend. Got through finals really good. I thought guys did a good job of staying focused on what we had in front of us. Now we've earned the right to do more and press on. Our biggest issue this week is our game time is going to be moved up a day, actually in the Thursday, Friday, Saturday, so we'll have to kind of rearrange our pitching. We're going to try to line our pitching up for the conference tournament, and then from there on into the regional. So we'll discuss as coaches, tomorrow morning on kind of how we want to handle our pitching situation this weekend. But I thought Austin threw a good game on Friday for us. He looked really good. Went back to dominating his opponent, not just pitching. Game two, we had a bad inning. We let the inning get away from us, couldn't stop the momentum, and really cost Carson probably another W. But we did come back and win that game at the back end, which was really good. Being able to come back in that situation after giving up some runs and giving up the lead, and Bazaar came in and really dominated his opponent, so that was good for him. And then on Sunday, hitters came out, and Booty pitched good again. We ended up 10-run ruling them and have a sharpened game. Harrison came in and looked good, again closing the door for us, late in that game. So, we fortunate enough to win a championship. That was one of our goals, was to win a championship, to get to 50 wins, and to host a regional. So the other two we're still working on, but open up the floor for questions you might have.
With Davis doing what he did over the weekend, how many options does that kind of present you if he's able to?
Well, I think it's probably an easier fit when we face a lefty. I think the biggest challenge now is when we face a righty of what we can or can't do. But that is something that we'll look into tomorrow as coaches, is what can we do to to keep him in the lineup, being that he's so hot right now. So we will take a look at that and kind of discuss that. We always get back together on Tuesdays after the team's day off on Monday and relook at the upcoming week. But it's a good problem to have. I don't see how you get Louisville Slugger Player of the Week and not Conference Player of the Week, but that's another story for another time.
Tony, talk about Monroe coming in here. It's a big series for them. Obviously, it's big for us, but they've got a lot on the line.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, you look at everybody so bunched up trying to make the conference tournament below us that anything can happen going into this last weekend. There's a lot of teams fighting to get in that conference tournament, and so they're going to be one of them. They have been playing well. I think they've won their last, 5 out of 7 or something. So they scored a lot of runs at Georgia State. Georgia State doesn't pitch very well, but they did score a bunch of runs in 2 games in their 2 wins. So we know what we have in front of us. They're going to come in. It is a rivalry, being we're so close apart, and we played very well up there against them. So I'm sure they're going to want to come back here and play well. But our players will be ready to go.
How important is it this week to get a guy like Gilmore just some confidence going into postseason?
Well, we need him. Him and Plitt, both those guys. We really need them to hope, have a switch and really come on because we really need them. And hitting when the hitter struggles, it's so much easier for him because he can hit the next day when you come back out to the ballpark. I mean, he can come back out and take more batting practice. When a pitcher struggles after a bad outing, it's so tough because he has to sit on that for a couple days, and then if he has it on a Sunday, then there's no midweek game. He's sitting on that all week. So it's not an easy thing to pull pitchers out of it. I find it's a lot easier to pull hitters out of it because, again, they're buried in there with 8 other hitters, so you can kind of hide a guy that's struggling. Pitcher, he's hard to hide. I mean, he's out there 10 inches higher than everybody else, and they call it a team game, but it's not a team game once a pitcher struggles. It becomes an individual sport. So those guys have a harder time pulling back through, but we do need both those guys to come on.
How much Milhorn's struggles are physical, and how much is the mental adjustment from going to that starter role to going to the pen?
Well, he looked so good early out of the pen, so that's really why we kept him there. But, he's a guy that, who knows, he might start on Thursday for us. We might come out and give him a start and take a look at it because we will need maybe a 4th starter in the conference tournament down the road. We already know what Matt Hicks can do for us. We've seen him. So we'll look at it and see. But I do believe, I think what he's going through right now is just a little bit of lack of confidence. You know, they're dinking and dunking him and, you know, 16 hopper through the infield. He just, you know, hitters get going off of just sometimes one flare. They get going. Pitchers, it's tough. Sometimes it's one scoreless inning to get them going. And so far, him and Matt have just kind of had, you know, that one flare, that one, like I said, that 16 hopper to bounce through the infield. And so we just need to keep, I think, running them out there until hopefully that, you know, they can flip it and get going again. But I do believe it's more mental than physical.
Do you watch the matchups at this point, or is it too early to even think about that, as far as who might be in and who might be on your side?
Not really. I've you know, again, I've never really watched much. I pulled a guy out one time that was on a hitting streak, because I didn't even know he was on a hitting streak. I don't really watch much, pay attention to much, read no media, listen to nothing. Jeff keeps me in tune with what's going on. Bab's my electronic guy. He knows all of what's going on, and they kind of fill me in. But I really worry about us, and as far as the matchups, I mean, if you get in a huddle and you utter the words Omaha, I don't think you need to be worried about who you're matching up against. I mean, if you're going to conceivably have a goal to get to Omaha, then I think you got to beat anybody that you're going to play. So that's kind of the way I always look at things. So no, I don't know. I know there's a bunch of teams jumbled up below us, trying to get in. But I think we're going to set our pitch and rotation like we wanted for the regional and go into the conference tournament that way and not worry about really the matchups.
You think you guys have to win the Sun Belt Conference to secure a national seed, potentially host the Super Regional?
I don't know. Those are things I don't worry about. I'm really worried about Monroe, game 1, and then we'll plow into Monroe game 2, and then 3, and then from there, hopefully, our body of work will be good enough to host. I mean, we really do want to host. We want to do what the girls are doing. I think they've done an exceptional job, and I think you got to give, you know, Mike a huge credit. I mean, he's not doing that with, you know, 8 fifth-year seniors. He's doing all that with a bunch of young kids, and that's phenomenal. And being able to sit right there and host, and that's going to be a tough place to play. I think we felt that. We were away listening to the game and stuff, and you know, when it came down to the wire, I mean, I had players in our team saying she's going to hit a ball out of the ballpark and have a walk-off. I mean, they were even talking about it. I mean, that's what I think that field does and that pressure does, and so we want that too. But we've got some more work to do. They took care of their work. We've got to take care of ours. We want to win this series. That's been a goal of ours, to try to win every series, number 1. If we win it in order, then we'll try to get greedy and go for the jugular like this weekend. And then from there, we want to, you know, get our pitch and rotation lined up for the conference tournament and get in that conference tournament and win it, you know, like they did theirs. And then hopefully there's no issues, no debate. I don't want to beg our way in. I don't want to come through the back door. We want to try to take care of our business and hopefully have a no-doubter. But what do we have to do to get in? I don't know. I don't really worry about the least we can do and the most we can do as much as I worry about really going to take care of our business, and then hopefully our body of work will speak for itself.
Coaches, ULM, what are they doing? They're playing like 500 balls since the change in the staff, and what are they doing different? I mean, obviously they're hitting the ball, but seem to be a bit energized by the change. I mean, to what you guys have seen or got the scouting, what's the difference between then early in the season and right now?
Well, I think they are scoring more runs. And you know, sometimes adversity, if it's handled positively, you can grow from it and you can get better from it. You know, when they remove Coach Sheck, you know, just like they walked in and told Cal that, you know, we're going to drop your program, so they went ahead and went to the World Series over it. You know, I mean, you can come together for certain reasons, and when teams do come together, they can be a lot better than they were when they were fractured. So you know, maybe they've gotten together and kind of looked at each other and said, hey, this is all we got, and let's do the best we can till we get to the end of it. Bruce is doing a good job with them right now, trying to keep that together, because a coaching change early like that is very tough on a team. They can go either one or two ways. So I think they swing the bat better, and just who knows, maybe they rally, you know, around this issue, and that's all I can really see. And they're just playing better because of it. But they are scoring more runs. They haven't pitched very well, but they've scored more runs along the way. So hopefully, you know, we get in as a pitching staff and stop that from happening, and then leave the high ERA for our hitters to handle.
Anything else?
All right, thanks, man.
Thanks, Coach.